Miss Strangers 1. I was fortunate enough to be one of the peer leaders to be selected to travel to Hong Kong with Mess Up the Mess to find the initial spark for the whole project with the Hong Kong group and with the writer from New Zealand. And it was a really good experience in Hong Kong, and I've been involved all the way through up until now.
Sorry.
Been working on, well, basically we're doing 2 songs, and sort of like a rock song and a sort of show tune.
And we've wrote 2 songs so far, one called My Life on the Wall and another one called Here's to You.
但我入咗嚟之後，即係多咗啲機會，可能去拍自己嘅片啊，有自己嘅可能一齊創作啊，寫歌啊。
Gazing through the windows of the world, fleeting intimacies, so far and yet so near. Google Maps, bird's eye view. Google Map, the Almond Valley.
Google Map, the Almond Valley. You may see my face, but do you always see me?
We can always see you. Barcode Britain.
I think I've enjoyed seeing how the characters began, from the observations and then how they developed, because I think most of the characters did come from observing in the street. So something as simple as maybe someone with a limp became a character who had this whole backstory. I think that was really interesting, and seeing how the different young people turned maybe something really similar into something so different.
I want you to redraft. I want you to write a second version of it as well, because the first thing that you put out there is it always, it might be a good idea, but there's always room for improvement.
Character workshops in Wales and Australia culminated in characters recording secret confessions, which were posted on Strangers 2 project blog.
When my wife left me, everything changed.
I learnt CPR at school, and so I knew to help her, but
I didn't get lost as a child. I ran away.
when I know I should, I can't.
I need to make a confession. My family don't know. Nobody does.
Characters were then developed with real Facebook profiles and interacted with each other over the internet, leading to actual characters and plot lines that appeared in the final play.
Push it out. You just stand up. Things that I don't enjoy, like reading and writing, have been fun through acting. So, yeah, enjoy it.
This is an unfinished, it's two-thirds of very much a first draft of what this play is going to be. The actors sit on a row of 12 chairs facing the audience. Behind them, a large screen is suspended. A spotlight appears on Patrick. He rises, animated.
It's really modern, it's really funny, and it's very now.
An incredible hulk of a paint tearing through my tight shirt. I see the head. Suddenly there's this head, and it's high.
It's really cool, everything's come together. Like, I've done like most of the workshops, so it's really interesting how Dan managed to create everything together, and it's just all linked, and it's really amazing.
Laughing at me, but I laugh back and say, screw you, Mr. Head. This is Patrick the Great, and you don't mess with me.
It's the first time I've heard it read through with the young people here at Mess at the Mess, and it's just really nice to hear their responses to it, actually, because you never know, because you're working with the stuff that other people have created and spent a lot of time and energy into it, so it's always a nervous moment when you come in and say, well, this is what I've kind of done with it, and do you like it? Because it's your project, and luckily so far the responses have been really positive. I can't wait to go back and feed their inputs back into the second draft of it now.
I was spending my days online talking to my sister Ali. And then one day, I got a random ad from this girl called Kathy. Hey, what's up? Oh, not much. Wish I could go surfing, but I'm grounded. You?
It reaches out to young people of today, 2011.
George, come here! Are you a lesbian?
There's a big group, and it's called Strangers Project 2, and they've got all members from Hong Kong, New Zealand, and Australia, and Wales, obviously, added onto this group, and we just talk about all the different things in our performances, and we post on it just to figure out what everyone else is doing.
All these people are real, they all have problems, and they're all interconnected by online, this whole new world that's totally outside reality, and it's really interesting hearing about it and how their problems get solved and stuff.
Something I really enjoyed a lot was when we did the LOL song workshop, working on what music we were going to put it to, what lyrics we were going to have, and we wrote some lyrics and had lyrics from the guys in New Zealand, Australia and Hong Kong.
When you dream, do you dream of me? Of me?
We've got to this end of this really exciting creative process where we have material from 4 different countries, and we've worked with a lot of different young people from a lot of different backgrounds. We've been communicating on Skype, Facebook, internet, and that process itself became what the play was about, actually, because that's the way that a lot of young people communicate. So the play Click evolved, and it's about how it's very easy to communicate with people from all sorts of different backgrounds just at the press of a button, click, and how people can come to click together as a group of young people, even though their experiences in life might be completely different. But underneath all of that, there's a lot of things that resonate and stay the same.
I'm playing James, and Welsh Ninja, who is the same person, but not. And what we've done is filmed different places in 4 different countries, and then we've edited it to put it like the Welsh Ninjas walking through each country, and we sort of like talk to each other online, and it's really cool how we sort of like the same type of stuff.
I guess there's a bit of James in everyone, in the sense that he's just a young kid who wants to be cool and wants to be sort of accepted and not bullied.
James reminds me a bit of me, because I used to get bullied, so that reminds me of me. I feel sorry for him, because I know how it feels, and it brings back like the memories of when it happened to me, and it's just like...
Did basket belong to your mum?
No one should put through that, just because they're like different.
She makes shit biscuits too. Shut up! I'm only talking to you.
That's better.
Your face is better.
Screen is up better.
No, it's definitely better.
Nothing to do with it except eating.
Sam?
And wait to get out of here. I feel like a bloody convict.
I mean, never come back. Uncle Rose already got me into the can't believe it. It's barbaric.
Barbaric?
What I enjoyed the most was everyone coming together in like one thing. We all come from like different parts of Sydney.
They're so far away yet we're also connected through this play. That's awesome.
We're cutting out pictures from magazines that we think might suit the characters, like their costumes and what they'd wear and what kind of chairs they're going to be sitting on.
Sam is a surfy guy, so it's going to be flip-flops, shorts, a t-shirt. We're thinking of him sitting on a spinny chair.
We had the idea from one of the scenes he's speaking to Kathy and Ellie at the same time on the online. So
Yeah.
the spinny chair, so we can sort of spin around and talk to different characters.
I won't be long.
Honestly, I'll wait. Are you distracted?
Why?
Yeah, he's always talking online and stuff.
Cool.
So what was great about this project is that some of the groups of young people that I worked with directly inspired the characters in the play. I worked with young carers, and they inspired the character Vicky, a group of young gypsies and travellers, and they directly inspired the character Abe.
My character isn't just bitchy, she has her reasons, like she's very misunderstood, that when you first look at her, she seems kind of like a cow. Don't go asking no questions now, you've got your question face on. But she has her reasons, like she's got issues that no one else knows about.
Well, don't just stand there, you wanker! What is breaking? I don't want to do this alone! Do something!
Shall I call an ambulance?
What are you, Harry Potter?
No, no ambulance, please! Just you, just me, just hold my hand!
I'm playing the character Abe. Sort of him being like gypsy, like he hasn't got many friends outside the gypsy community.
I've never ran so fast in my life, and I actually feel like I'm going to have a heart attack.
A hedge looms. There's this hedge, and it's high, really high, and it's laughing at me.
Its leaves are totally laughing out loud to me. Will LOL to you too? Screw you, Mr. Hedge. This is Abe the Great, brother of Alfie the Greater, and Mikey, the not so great.
I'm playing the character of Isaac, and he's 18 and he's a fashion student in London. He lived in Brynhaman, but but he's moved away.
Don't you live on the side behind Tunning Carrick?
Oh, you're the knob from my school.
Oh, so you're the queer from the farm. Don't tell her, she doesn't know.
Then I'm a queer.
Then I'm a Muslim.
You in the closet then?
Let's just say I haven't come out of my mosque yet.
This character seems to almost put a front on to try and protect himself because he feels that by putting his front on and being someone different to who he actually is, he won't get hurt.
You just have a label for people to see you, by the way you look, or the way you talk, or who you hang out with. But it's not always what your eyes see. It's what's inside.
Right now, at the moment, we are going through the script and trying to think of possible lighting states and reference to time, place, who, the lights roll, movement, trying to think of like how much of the stage needs to be lit at any particular time, depending on who's on and like what they're doing and why they're doing it.
So what would that suggest? We Skyped with Australia and New Zealand.
Daniel, Naomi, Billy.
Because it's obviously the same script and everything's very similar, but then the way we do things is very different, so it's very interesting to hear the other ideas.
It's really nice being able to Skype because you don't really think about like, oh, what's theatre like in Wales? So when you get to talk to these people who are doing the exact same show, it's really cool and really rewarding to be a part of that.
program 我就更加肯定我未來嘅路向就係希望將藝術帶俾身邊唔同嘅人，特別係年青人。我希望呢樣嘢可以改變。
Yeah, Skyping has been a really interesting thing because it's not something you usually do with a production. Like, usually with a production it's just your cast, that's it. But this whole project has so many different layers to it, and all the different people doing it makes it so much more interesting.
When everything was set up and everything was working and we had our first dress rehearsal, it all really came to life and it was awesome.
Don't be happy, just be here with me. It's a connection. Right from the start, you gave me my heart.
All I know is it is probably one of the funnest things I've ever done. I wish I joined up in That's the Mess years ago.
Click was really cool because it dealt with taboo subjects in such a funny way, which allowed us to talk about things that we don't usually talk about.